Hi, it's Howard from HMB Music. In this episode I'm going to be showing you how to create a classical organ sound using a Hammond or Hammond clone. So if you have a Hammond or a clone of a Hammond, could be a Nord lead, or it could be a Roland Hammond, or it could be a Viscount Hammond, any kind of Hammond clone, there's lots of them out there. You can create sounds that sound quite like a classical organ. How do you do that? Well, the first thing is you don't want any Leslie, so we turn the Leslie off. I've got my Leslie controls here, so none of those lights are on, all the Leslie's off. And then we're going to set up, using the drawbars, some particular settings that will sound like a Hammond. You can of course split the keyboard if you've got a single keyboard, and you can use the lower octave as a bass sound. That's very good way to create a whole organ with just a single keyboard. The other thing you can do is put the reverb onto a setting that is good for a church, like a long reverb, and typically a lot of Hammonds or Hammond clones will have a reverb setting that's called church. Now there is different types of church organ sounds. You can have a traditional church organ, which is what I'm going to show you on this video. You can also have a gospel sounding church organ. If you're trying to do that, it's a totally different approach, and I can talk about that on another video. Leave a comment if you'd like me to show you that. So anyway, starting with classical organ. So I've just pulled out a few drawbars for the left hand just to give an accompaniment. And I'll just tell you that's 0032110000 in terms of where the drawbars are on the left hand. That's a very basic sound. Now on the right hand, if we pull out just a single drawbar, let's say the 8 foot, we'll get a sound that's like a pure flute. So that sounds nothing like the sort of Hammond sound where you have, you know, the Leslie speaker and the sort of jazz sound that you get from a Hammond. And it would be very hard to distinguish between this and a church organ. When they did blind tests at the when the Hammond first came out, 2/3 of the people I think guessed correctly that it was a church organ, and 1/3 couldn't tell the difference between the church organ and the Hammond, something like that. I might have got that statistic wrong, but it was a significant number of people couldn't tell the difference. So that sounds very much like a church organ with a pure flute. Now there are tables, I've got one here, of different drawbar settings for different instruments. I can't show them all to you, but I'm going to show you a few. Well, I could show you them all, but that would take a long time. So here's some of the sounds. Now I'll start with one of the best and most well-known sounds, which is the sound of a clarinet. So what I've done is I've set 00607050 in terms of where I've pulled these drawbars out. And I'll play a little bit of Peter and the Wolf. And that really does sound a lot like a clarinet. That's well known to be one of the best sounding effects. Now if we push them all in and we try to get the sound of a cornet, which is a small trumpet-like instrument, the setting for that is 008660400. Of course it's not exactly like a cornet, but it does try to sound a bit cornet-like. I've got another one here which is called Vox Humana. This is supposed to somehow give the effect of a human voice. Now this won't really be like a human voice, but it'll give you an idea. And that sound there is 1-4-3-1-1. You do need a bit of imagination to kind of fill in the blanks. Then there are mixture sounds. Here's a sound called principal. Now the drawbars for that are 00, 875, 31, 00. If I split the keyboard and I put in a manual bass on the left hand, it will sound like this. Let's choose another one. This is called chorus and mixture.